Women's suffrage, censorship, and who's on first are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is March 3rd, 2023. It is the 62nd day of the year. You got 303 days left. It is the 9th Friday in the 9th week and the 73rd day of winter. You got 17 days left until spring. If today's your birthday, you're still a Pisces. Today is National I Want You to Be Happy Day. National I Want You to Be Happy Day on March 3rd encourages us to do something that makes us happy. So I will be watching people falling down escalators and being tased all day today, because those things make me happy. Yeah, I'm a sick puppy, what can I say? But this day also encourages us to see that others around us are happy as well. Putting a smile on someone's face tends to put one on ours, their website says. Happiness takes a little effort. Most people don't realize that, but happiness does take a little effort. While we're not individually responsible for others' happiness, we do play a role in spreading joy and good cheer. Their website says being happy may merely be about quality over quantity. All right, let's see what else March 3rd has given us. 1779, the American Revolutionary War. The Continental Army is routed at the Battle of Briar Creek near Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, the Continental Army had a hard time around Savannah. 1873, censorship in the United States. The U.S. Congress enacts the Comstock Law, making it illegal to send any obscene literature and articles of immoral use through the mail. Now, there were a few different versions of this. Basically, it continued to mutate over the years, but it was originally named after Anthony Comstock. Anthony Comstock was an anti-vice activist. He worked as a U.S. postal inspector, and he was the secretary of the New York Society of Suppression of Vice. This man was dedicated to upholding Christian morality. He opposed obscene literature, any form of birth control, gambling, the world's oldest profession, and patent medicine. But while working as a postal inspector, he convinced the U.S. Congress that they needed some new laws to stop the obscenity from going through the mail. This included things like birth control, Valentine's cards, love letters, certain types of art. Basically, it kind of gave him and his people at the post office the opportunity to open up any package they want to actually see what was in it. This gave postal inspectors and the post office an incredible amount of power for a misdemeanor. Yes, this was a misdemeanor if you did this through the mail, but he was completely gung-ho about it. Now, he had done a bunch of different things similar to this in New York State as part of the New York Society of Suppression of Vice, or NYSSV. But when he was a postal inspector, he realized that he could cast a wider net when it came to the suppression of obscenity. It's a federal department. That means the entire United States, not just New York. Now, it spread from the whole obscenity thing and even got into gambling and profanity. That's right, they were opening letters from soldiers and found that military personnel actually used obscenity in their letters. Can you imagine that? Eventually, they got into destroying books. Through various campaigns, he destroyed 15 tons of books. Also, about 284,000 pounds of plates for printing objectionable books and nearly 4 million pictures. He claimed that books are feeders for the brothels. Comstock boasted that he was responsible for 4,000 arrests and claims that he drove 15 people to take their own lives in his fight for the young minds. Comstock died on September 21st, 1915 from pneumonia at the age of 71. When he died, apparently it looked like he was hoarding a lot of the pictures. He had a large collection of pictures, prints, and other literature that he had seized during his career. 1891, the Shoshone National Forest is established as the first national forest in the U.S. and the world. 1913, thousands of women march in the women's suffrage procession in Washington, D.C. 1931, the United States adopts the Star-Spangled Banner as its national anthem. That was our deep dive last year. 1991, an amateur video captures the beating of Rodney King in Los Angeles by police officers. One thing leads to another, and when the officers are acquitted, we had riots in Los Angeles and throughout the country, really. I had to go down to Los Angeles for the riots. I was part of the military at the time, and it sucked. It was exciting like the first 2 or 3 days. I was in a police chase. I held a fire hose to put out a mini mall because they were short-staffed. It was a lot of fun. And that was like, I'd say the first 72 hours maybe, but I had to stay in downtown LA, or East LA really, for about a month. There was a lot of laying around and reading books. 2017, the Nintendo Switch releases worldwide. I brought this up before. I don't like Nintendo as a company because they short supply everyone to drive up interest and price. Now, they've always done this, even with the big games that they have, not just the consoles. Let's say their research says they're going to need 10 million Nintendo Switches on release date. They'll release 4 million. They'll give it a month or so and release another 2 million. Eventually, after it's been out about a year, they release all that everyone needs. And right now you can go get a Switch. They probably have got 100 at the nearest Target. I've seen all kinds of theories on why they do this. One of my favorite theory is that they do it so they could create a black market and people from within the company or connected to the company get thousands of these whatever device they're releasing, which they sell for 5 and 10 times as much as it normally goes for. I remember the Nintendo Wii came out and it was like, I don't know, $350 at the time, but there was none anywhere. You had to go on eBay, and if you did, it was going for $1,500. I remember seeing one listed for like $3,000 or $4,000. Not sure if it ever sold, but it was listed for that. But there was a whole bunch selling for about $1,500. I just don't like Nintendo because of that. Premiered on March 3rd, 1985, Moonlighting. This was a great series. It starred Bruce Willis, Sybil Shepherd, Curtis Armstrong, and Alice Beasley. It was a pretty good show. I watched it quite a few times. I don't think I watched every season. They had a total of 5 seasons and they made 67 episodes. I think I watched the first 3 seasons. If you've never seen Moonlighting, here's the premise. After being swindled by her manager, a down-and-out model is forced to liquidate her assets. One of the assets is a private detective agency. Moonlighting is widely considered to be the pioneer in the comedy drama or dramedy genre. I thought it was funny. Born on March 3rd, 1982, Jessica Biel. I can't believe she's that old. She looks so young. She became known as Mary Camden on TV's Seventh Heaven and won a Young Artist Award for Best Performance for her supporting role in Yuli's Gold. She was in Summer Catch, which was pretty good, Blade the Trinity, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She won Newport Beach's Film Festival Award for her performance in the 2006 film The Illusionist. She married Justin Timberlake in 2012. Died on March 3rd, 1959, Lou Costello, actor-comedian who played an overweight, foolhardy character in the burlesque comedy show Abbott and Costello. He and his comedy partner Bud Abbott are best known for their immortal Who's on First routine, which they first performed in the 1940 film One Night in the Tropics. He met Bud Abbott in St. Joseph, Missouri, while hitchhiking home during the Great Depression. They became an official team in 1936 and made 36 films between 1940 and 1956. Becoming one of the most popular and highest paid entertainers in the world during World War II. He married Ann Battler in January of 1934, and his youngest daughter Chris wrote his biography in 1981 called Lou's on First. His daughter Carol married Dean Martin's son Craig. Shortly after the completion of The 30-Foot Bride of Candy Rock, his only film after the partnership with Abbott ended, Costello suffered a heart attack. He died at Doctors Hospital in Beverly Hills on March 3rd, 1959, 3 days before his 53rd birthday. Now, there's always a few stories to what someone's last words were, but one story is that he was just given a strawberry ice cream soda, and he took a sip and said, "Best he ever tasted," and dropped dead. Others say that he had asked a nurse to adjust his bed up a little bit, and while she was doing it, he died. His wife, Anne, died from an apparent heart attack 9 months later on December 5th, 1959. She was only 47. I guess she died of a broken heart. Who knows? I have a friend. His mom died of cancer. His dad died a year later to the date, the same date, a year later of a heart attack. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.